Okay, I'm making this video in honor of Carly Elrod because she was one of the greatest friends I could ever ask for. If any of you know me, you know that I've struggled with addiction in my past and the use of drugs. And at the time that Carly passed, I was kind of deep in it. Actually, I was very deep in it. It had me, I didn't have it. I blew people off. I shunned away my family. I started believing my own lies that I was telling my family, like I didn't have an issue or a problem. I was fine. And, I was like, my friends are going to be there no matter what. This is just one more time. I'm telling them I'm busy or da-da-da-da-da. And you can only lie and get away with so much for so long. And then it'll sneak up and get you in the worst possible way. Today I freely spoke about the experience of when I found out about Carly's passing today for the first time with my mother. And I didn't realize how much I forced myself to forget, how much I forced myself to just say screw it and try and run from it. But I wasn't doing anything but submerging that and running to drugs more and more and more. And, I could never find my answers. I was at the end of my road. Like that, at that moment in time, after calling number after number, and this number went to voicemail, I got this wrong number, and then to call or get in touch with my friend Jessica to tell me that she's gone. Again, I got the response that she's gone. I was so excited to call and tell her happy birthday because I didn't forget for once, and I was proud of myself. But what I'm getting at is, at that moment in time, it was already way too late. That was God telling me, I can take everything from you. And death is not the worst thing. Being forced to live with your own bad choices and taking the wrath of your own, mistakes, and death ain't the worst thing. But what is the worst thing when it comes to death is leaving those empty spaces. Carly knew what was happening with me. No, everybody did. But I was convinced, or I was convincing myself that I had everyone fooled, and I didn't. So not only was I lying to myself, I was lying to people that loved me and put their neck out there for me, who's had my back since day one, who has, whose family has loved me. I could go on and on and on. I was raised in a good family in a police department, a sheriff's office in Barrow County. I was raised the right way. I knew right from wrong. I was a great athlete. I played sports. I played softball since age of 4. I played basketball, soccer, everything. I had so much potential and so much talent, and I threw all of that away, but I never picked myself up from it. So the day that I tried to call one of the most greatest inspirations and most wonderful people, best of friend I could ever ask for, and family, and oh my God. The only thing that people knew about me when it come to Carly Elrod was she was my best friend, and I lost her. What nobody really knows is what I went through that day. I was an avid user. I was using every day. And I let the drugs talk for me that day. And to sit here and say that hurts me so bad. If there's any time I could go back to and replace, just absolutely redo, it would be the 4 to 5 years that I was a frequent user or daily user. Couldn't go without it. If I went without it, it was hell. I've talked about my addiction, but I've never posted freely like this because, I mean, since coming to realization of where I stand, how do I say this? It's so hard for me to explain because I've recently just understood that I've forced myself to forget about so much from that day and from that day to this day. And after 4 years, I'm finally speaking what really bothers me about this day. Every year, I've lost more people than most people do in a lifetime. I lost that amount by the age of 18, but all because of my own doings. God works in mysterious ways, and again, like I said, death is not the worst thing, but I'm finally admitting that the day I found out about, excuse me, I'm going to reword that. The day that I tried to get in touch with Carly to call her for her birthday was one of the most humiliating. I mean, I could go on for days on how that feeling is, but there's no words or no description. The English language cannot explain where that put me. Rock bottom, what was that? That's an understatement. I was at that point where I was asking myself how to think, and then almost like, it was a repetitive cycle, and I was sitting there asking myself the same thing over and over, and my mind was going crazy that I logged off here and here, and I thought with this. I didn't realize what one thing, small thing, what seems to be small or just a loss, what it can really do to someone. Being an addict is hard. It's a scary feeling. Nobody wants that urge to use because we all get that urge. I don't want it no more. I don't want it. Like, screw this drug. I'm done with it. And then by the time that feeling's over, you're getting the feeling of, I want it. I gotta have it, and I'm not gonna be happy without it. And that was me. I was in my head without it. I was thinking, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to figure anything out unless I have it, unless I have the dope. And and by the time I got the dope, I was so excited about being high. It was gone again. Me being the person I am, everyone, for the majority, knows I'm a loving person, and I care about everyone. And, and I have lost a lot of people, and, I lose track of my own self. And I'll tell you what, Carly never lost track of herself. She was pulled away from, she wasn't pulled away. She had to move, she moved to Colorado. I mean, she had a total change up. While going through school, a lot of us lost our best friend, well, kind of, but she went out there and she did what she had to do. And that girl succeeded so hard. We talked about how we were going to be college roommates, and we were going to do this, and we were going to do that. And stories for days. Family vacation trips together. But guess who ruined that? I ruined that scholarship. I chose to shut people out. And I want to say I'm going to see Carly for the first time in 4 years, and I'm finally freely speaking out. Because I called my friends today, some of the ones that are very special and who I've known since 2 days old. Don't hold a grudge. The point of this video is, I've lost so many people. If I sat here and gave you an exact number, you wouldn't believe it, but I could sit here and at least guesstimate. I know for a fact 50, and I've lost count. Death is something I've always dealt with and I've never done good with, but it's something I refuse to give up on because it's a way of life. And like I said in the beginning, and I have to tell myself continuously, death is not the worst thing. What's the bad thing is the ones that are left here with unanswered questions, with regrets, with lies. And that's the sad part. They aren't the ones hurting. We are. But Y'all, the point of this video was I'm actually going to post this up, speaking publicly. Tonight I stayed up till 12 to celebrate for Carly. Used to do it when we were growing up. Midnight. Was I the first to call? Happy birthday! But I guess the point of the video was to actually really open up about April 23rd. It wasn't just my best friend's birthday. It was my best friend's birthday I forgot about for periods of her time. Missed opportunities of seeing her so many times and stayed in touch. But if I could do anything in life and go back, hindsight's always 20/20, but I would have went to her. I would have been honest with her. Because I feel like it would have made a difference. And then the flip side of things, I was dancing with the devil, and he got me for a little bit. But I'm happy and I'm proud to say that I found the strength today to really voice what that day was like for me, and being so strung out that it was an embarrassment, it was a disappointment, but I'm now going to go see my best friend. Going to go sit and talk with her for a while. So, if you didn't know, Carly Elrod wasn't just my best friend or a friend that I'm quoted or claimed to be my best friend. Oh, God. And Jessica Parker, Brittany Brown, God, Kaylee. I mean, we had so many good memories with so many people. And Brittany Brown, God rest your soul, baby. We love and miss you, too. God took you at a young age, and I tell you, tired of having these friends reunions at funerals. But if you got someone out there that you kind of might be mad at, tell them you love them. If you're hiding something, put it on Front Street. Because if I could explain that feeling of regret, I would. If I could just give you a pinch or just temporarily show you what it, how it feels like, just quick, and take it back, I would. I wish I could tell everybody. But death is something that I've dealt with since a very, very young age. And it's not going to stop. But I could put a stop to the way I was being. And 2018 is going to be my year, and I told my mom today, it's going to be my year, but some of the choices I have to make ain't going to be good ones, and it's time for me to accept it and be honest and what really hurts me, and that's, don't take the ones you love for granted. That next use, that next high, fuck, it don't do nothing for you, excuse my language. It does then. But oh my God, the feeling that I have today, it hurts. But I've never been so excited and scared at the same time. Don't ever leave any. Look, just love everyone, and your friends, your family. Don't take them for granted. Tell them you love them every chance you get. Don't go to bed mad at each other. Don't ever hang up a phone without telling someone you love them, or without it being a positive situation, because again, I could sit here for hours on end and tell you about the situations of the people I've lost and everything, but when it's it's easier said. I can sit here and say, you know, when it's too late, it's too late. But guess what? It's only taken me 4 years to go talk to my best friend and admit and finally apologize, because I lost her not knowing if she forgave me or not. And I will forever look for the sign of her accepting me. You know, I mean, of course. But I want to thank everyone and all my friends, my family. I love you all. Carly, baby, thank you for so many amazing years, darling. And I love you and so much. I cannot wait to come sit and talk with you this week. It's been a long time, baby. So, that being said, I'm not sure how good this video is going to be. I'm not going to rewatch it. I really did this from the bottom of my heart and out of pure instinct and in honor of Carly. She was a strong girl. She was a smart girl. And sometimes she spoke when she didn't need to speak, or said something when it didn't need to be said, but that's why we all loved her, and that's because if there's one thing if there's one thing we all know about Carly, she ain't gonna bite her tongue, and she'd tell me to suck it up and do what I had to do, and that's what I'm doing now. And so, again, friends, family, I love all of you, and I could not be any more grateful